Hey there, can you believe it? Harry, the one who caused so much trouble, is going to meet King Charles again. People are really upset about this because nobody wants him back in the UK. We'll tell you all about how it happened in this video. Hey, hello friends, welcome to the King YouTube channel. Please help me press the subscribe button because the subscribe button is free. Thank you, friends. This week, a royal author said that King Charles might be more forgiving towards Prince Harry than Prince William. The author predicts that Charles and Harry might meet during Harry's return this spring. It's expected that Harry will be back in the UK in May. According to Mr. Tom Quinn speaking to the Mirror, it won't be as tough for Harry to see his father, even though their relationship is also filled with pain and grievances. Quinn added that Charles understands Harry had a tough childhood, partly due to him, and that's why he's more forgiving towards Harry than William. The author also mentioned that the meeting will be brief because there are concerns about Harry sharing details with the public, but honestly, I think this is just guesswork. There's no real evidence to back it up. He'll likely visit his father, but I doubt any other family members will want to see him. Certainly not the Queen, and not even Prince Charles or Prince William. So, my main criticism of the King is his reluctance to permanently remove Harry from the royal family. It's long overdue. If they want to maintain a relationship with the future King and Queen, William and Catherine, I suggest all other royals keep their distance from Harry. I believe that will be William's top priority when he becomes king, stripping Harry of his titles and removing him from the line of succession. People often forget that our issue with Harry isn't just because he left. That's not the problem. I mean, if Harry had, let's say, 25 or 30 million in the bank, he could have bought a stunning, luxurious home, started a business, and continued their charitable foundation. They didn't have to move to Montecito and buy an outrageously expensive house trying to live like billionaires when they're not. This was their choice. Let's not forget they took the easy way out by stirring up scandals, spreading falsehoods, and tarnishing the royal family in their book, their show, and interviews. Numerous lies have been exposed. Without them, they could have maintained a positive relationship with the royal family, which would have been far better in the long term. Their brand and business would have thrived if they had kept that connection. However, Meghan Markle's greed and excessive ambition got in the way. Prince William and King Charles are aware that Harry is quick to turn to the media and complain if anything upsets him, risking the exposure of their private conversations. And frankly, that's the least of what he might do. He might also fabricate some lies while he's at it. He tends to exaggerate everything and even fabricate things because he interprets things the way he wants. Harry is fully aware that the family follows the late Queen's rule: never explain, never complain. They won't say a word, and he takes advantage of that. So, I believe the king should proceed with extreme caution when meeting with his brother. Furthermore, I think it would be wise for the king to have his wife Camilla present. Harry needs to understand that to have any relationship with his father, he must accept and respect Camilla as his father's wife. The king truly needs her support at this moment, especially during any encounter with Harry. There should be someone trustworthy present who can maintain confidentiality and won't tolerate Harry overstepping any boundaries. If Harry decides not to have a relationship with his father, that's his choice. However, the king should never be put in a position where he has to choose between his son and his spouse. That's absurd. It's up to us, the public, to refuse to let any meeting tarnish the royal family. Only if we blindly believe everything Harry says and allow his betrayals to influence us can his behavior truly harm the royal family. I hope they thoroughly check Harry for recording devices, cameras, and the like. Furthermore, he should be required to sign an oath promising that anything said in private remains private. But I keep wondering, what's the point of a meeting between Charles and Harry? What could they possibly discuss? If Harry's hoping for more money or trying to finagle his way back into royal duties, the answer is a firm no, and it will remain that way. I don't think King Charles is that much of a pushover, and I highly doubt he would let down the rest of the royal family, including Camilla or Prince William or the people of the UK, by allowing Harry to just waltz back in after such disgraceful behavior. Harry has lived an incredibly privileged life. Let's be honest, he's been overly privileged his whole life. He grew up in a very loving family. I know he tries to portray his father as neglectful, but I don't buy it. Prince Charles cared deeply about him, and Harry had advantages that most of us could only dream of. Let's not forget that William also lost his mother. He also carries the weight of the monarchy on his shoulders and the responsibility of producing heirs. Plus, he had to find a suitable wife, which he did remarkably well. I'm just tired of hearing about how tough Harry's life has been. He was incredibly fortunate. Every opportunity was handed to him, and he had the unwavering support of his family, including his aunts, uncles, cousins, and his loving grandparents. Even during his time in the army, he was protected and supported. It's about time for Harry to mature and stop behaving so childishly. I also can't comprehend how, after everything Harry has said, after all the accusations and the hurtful things he said about Camilla, he expects Charles to welcome him back with open arms and forgive him. Furthermore, Harry is already aware of Charles's feelings towards William, Catherine, and their family. Especially during this time, he wouldn't want to cause them any further stress. Honestly, I hope King Charles won't be able to find the time to meet with Harry. That's what Harry deserves. But if Charles does decide to meet with him, he needs to make it clear to Harry that he is not allowed to dictate how the meeting proceeds under any circumstances. That means he can't insist on excluding Camilla or object to the presence of someone else. I hope this meeting ends up being as brief as the last one, maybe about 12 minutes, and then it's goodbye, Harry. It seems like another PR move orchestrated by Meghan Markle. They have some nerve declaring that Harry is going to meet the king, especially when they didn't even have the courtesy to check if it fits into King Charles's schedule. I mean, he's a busy man, and they didn't even bother to inquire about the medical safety of such a meeting. Another question worth asking is, does the king even want to meet with Harry? Honestly, I suspect it's just going to be a repeat of the last quick meeting. And what about their globally publicized statement in 2020 declaring their half in, half out status after quitting their roles without even discussing it with the late queen? Now, since Harry has failed to obtain the security that he wants, I guess Meghan has a good reason to not come with Harry, and they shouldn't allow the invisible children to come without her. I knew that she would come up with something. Again, we see that Harry's desire to bring his children to meet his side of the family is ignored. Honestly, folks, at this rate, those kids are never even going to set foot in Britain until they're about 20, again, if they're even real. I also believe that Harry was told, and I'm sure it was offered by his family back then, that he needed psychological counseling to help him with his sense of loss and grief after his mother passed away. William has already told us that Harry went to counseling sessions, but I guess it was not the kind of help that Harry needed. I mean, Harry clearly resisted William's advice. It doesn't make sense for anybody to be concerned anymore about Prince Harry's childhood, and he doesn't need any coddling anymore either. I hope this meeting ends up being as brief as the last one, maybe about 12 minutes, and then it's goodbye, Harry. It seems like another PR move orchestrated by Meghan Markle. They have some nerve declaring that Harry is going to meet the king, especially when they didn't even have the courtesy to check if it fits into King Charles's schedule. I mean, he's a busy man, and they didn't even bother to inquire about the medical safety of such a meeting. Another question worth asking is, does the king even want to meet with Harry? Honestly, I suspect it's just going to be a repeat of the last quick meeting. And what about their globally publicized statement in 2020 declaring their half in, half out status after quitting their roles without even discussing it with the late queen? And honestly, I'm not even sure if what Harry believes is true, but I'm inclined to doubt it. Harry himself has admitted that his memory isn't always reliable. Could Charles really be responsible for Harry's difficult childhood? Well, no, let's not forget about his mother, bless her heart. Diana had her flaws and her struggles. Just consider all the male companions she had. She's the one who left Harry feeling abandoned. That wasn't Charles's fault. So I don't think anyone can blame Charles for how Harry has turned out. It's not Charles's fault that Harry engaged in all that partying. It's not Charles's fault that Harry decided to wear a Nazi uniform. Charles didn't tell Harry to strip down in Vegas and get caught. Harry has made so many poor choices all on his own, and now he's almost 40 years old. It's time he faced the fact that his mother was no angel. She was human, just like the rest of us. And Charles is human too. It's high time Harry took some responsibility for himself. I know King Charles still loves his son, but he needs to stay cautious around him. He should keep this visit as short as possible because Harry can't be trusted. The king already has enough on his plate, especially facing cancer treatment. He shouldn't have to worry about drama from Harry. King Charles needs to do whatever he can to protect himself from anything that could hinder his healing. Neither of them bringing anything positive to King Charles's health, that's for sure. At this point, Harry has proven himself to be an unworthy member of the royal family. He's fallen far below even the lowest expectations. He's lower in reputation than any celebrity out there. While the royal family is famous, Harry and Meghan Markle are more infamous. We should also acknowledge the king's actions. No one knows what he truly thinks or discusses with Camilla behind closed doors. Let's remember what he's done. He took away Frogmore, stopped Harry's allowance, made him sit several rows back at public ceremonies, and only saw him for a short time, maybe 12 minutes, 20 minutes, or at most 30 minutes. Despite journalistic speculation that Harry and Meghan might return, it seems unlikely. The king's actions speak louder than words. I believe Harry and Meghan are slowly but surely being sidelined from the royal family, much like Wallace and Edward before them. The crown is of utmost importance to protect. Harry's demotion as a counselor of state and exclusion from discussions about the line of succession indicate a gradual phase out for him and Meghan. As the saying goes, once trust is broken, it's irreparable. It's quite clear that this almost 40-year-old man is attempting to worm his way back into the family after all the hurtful remarks he and Meghan have made. It seems his primary interest lies in financial gain, but I doubt he'll find what he's looking for. That's my take on whether Harry and King Charles will meet during Harry's return later this spring. How do you feel about this? Please share your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate your feedback and suggestions, so feel free to let us know. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the King YouTube channel. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you again tomorrow.